Hey everyone and welcome to another video, and today I'm trying something very different. I'm actually going to be trying reacting to a video or a piece of content. I've never done this. Usually my content is the one being reacted to and jabbed by other people, but now I'm going to be on the other side of the fence. Now the reason I decided to do this is because I've been sent this video from quite a few people, I think following the train of my low elo content on my YouTube. And I wanted to try something different. Now, I will be honest, I've seen the first about a minute and a half. I have not seen from that point. I kind of paused the video and said, all right, I'm going to try this new piece of content on YouTube. So I'll try and do this in one hit, see my genuine thoughts and reaction to this video. So without further ado, let's dive in, guys.
So recently I made a video on my channel talking about how I went from bronze 4 to silver 4 in a little under a week and had a pretty solid win rate. Basically just made a video showing the highlights, but today I wanted to make a video talking about my journey from silver to gold and give some tips and tricks on how I believed made the climb pretty easy. The first thing I kind of want to...
Now, something that isn't mentioned enough is that people who've done a specific climb, so let's say you're an average platinum player and your friend, you're average platinum player and you're trying to get emerald, and your friend recently climbed from platinum to emerald. That guy, your friend, is going to be able to give you some amazing pragmatic tips and pieces of advice. Now, that doesn't mean they're an amazing coach, but because they've actually done it themselves and they've literally experienced the same games you're experiencing, they can give some excellent tips. That's one of the biggest challenges a lot of coaches face, is that, especially if you're a high elo coach, you haven't made that climb from gold to platinum in years. You haven't made that climb from bronze to silver ever. I was literally never in bronze. And this is kind of one of my struggle points, kind of coaching below gold. I just really wasn't there. So it's been a massive, learning journey for me to actually understand what it feels like. What do these games actually look like? So yeah, this is an interesting piece of content, and I love to see other people's perspectives, so who are in the shit, getting into the details, and who have recently just done the climb.
Talk about is the one thing I noticed in league in low elo is for some reason your teammates are just on edge like every second. I don't know if it's a league thing or if it's a low elo thing, but they're like extremely on edge. Like if you make even a fucking micro of a mistake, you're getting spam pinged. I don't know what it is. I don't know who hurt them. I don't know what game they learned, but some of the players in this game 100% make the game harder.
Okay, so this is a very interesting topic. I've noticed this. Look, I'm going to say this is present in all elo brackets. I would agree with him in saying that in the very lower elo brackets, like in bronze and silver and things like that, yes, people in a weird way have more expectations from their teammates and do get very fired up over other people making mistakes. Look, I think there are many reasons, but I think the number one cause is it's very overwhelming to climb in low elo because there are so many things that are going wrong. It could be going wrong and are going wrong. So the way I view it, right, very simply, is that as you're climbing through the ranks, the possibilities of the things that could be going wrong actually get reduced. You don't really see a high diamond player with CSing issues, for example. And I know that's an over-exaggeration, but you don't see them with... They will know what all the champions in the game do. They will know the best warding locations. You get my point here. But in the lower elo brackets, they can have many things going wrong. So the sheer possibility of, all the things that are going wrong, that can be very overwhelming. So if someone is losing the game for them or making what they deem to be an obvious mistake, in their mind, that's sabotaging the game. They're setting them further behind. It's just another problem they have to face. It's kind of just through sheer being overwhelmed with the journey and just the frustration and the pent-up confusion that just lets rip on other people. I think this is one reason. I also think that a lot of people in this elo bracket don't actually understand how difficult the game really is. I think as you play the game for a long time, especially in the higher elo brackets, we all kind of understand that the game is bloody hard, and we understand that there's a very big difference between executing and knowing something theoretically. And I think that this divide, or this chasm between execution and theory isn't really well understood in the lower elo brackets. So also something to keep in mind. And I'll say all of us, as we all know, we only look at the game through one lens. And so it's very easy to become biased, be like, oh, how could he not see that? Because with obviously maybe you're coming off a lull state, you had a freed up mental state, you could easily see that that guy was coming, but that guy was maybe CSing or in the middle of a trade. We don't understand what it would be like to be in their situation. But as you play the game for longer and longer and longer, it's like, oh yeah, I'd probably make that mistake too. I can understand why he would die there, you know?
That is a fact. Like, when you're in silver, some of the games are just going to be unwinnable, and it's completely out of your hands. It's more or less how you react upon them. If you let it ruin your day, if you're gonna just keep it all pent up and go into the next game tilted as fuck, like that's totally up to you. But one of the things that I was able to understand is basically, yeah, like you can't win every game. So the games you lose, I'm not going to really let it ruin my day. Like, sometimes I get tilted, but let's say I get tilted, I'll take like a 15-20 minute break, go outside maybe, like if it's really bad, just basically focus on my breathing, kind of stuff like that, just kind of calm down. But that helped me a lot, just kind of keeping my mental in check, because I do think League is a huge mental game. I just think the mental...
Yeah, look, I think this is a really important point, and it's easier said than done. I think we all been there. We've all been there where we have a frustrating game and we let that frustrating game hurt our future performance. And one of my personal philosophies when climbing in League is that there are two things we got to do to climb. We've actively got to get better and improve at every single point of our journey, but we've also got to reduce self-sabotage, right? We're all very, very good at self-sabotaging. Self-sabotaging can be anything from, obviously tilt queuing, playing when you're low intensity, playing with no sleep, spam playing games, being on comms with other people and like talking to friends while playing, or whatever it might be. You've got real life responsibilities and that's nagging you in the back of your mind and you're trying to play intense League, but then you're thinking, oh shit, I should be probably studying, or you go into bed or whatever the hell it might be. We're very, very good. Humans are very good at self-sabotage. And I think what he's referring to, at least what I can gather, is that he's kind of reducing that self-sabotage. And if you can reduce that self-sabotage, or the amount you're self-sabotaging, that's going to allow you to kind of express your best self and show, at least to the ranked ladder, what your true level of play actually is. So I actually view it as a general rule of thumb. Everyone is about 200 LP below what they should be, purely based off either a poor process or the amount of, the extent to which they're self-sabotaging. So what he's done, he's been taking breaks, getting off the PC, not let it ruin his day, not tilt queuing. He's done a really, really good job of actually just expressing his best self and playing to his raw level, which again is easier said than done. So props to him.
Game is probably one of the more important things about this, is you just really need to learn how to stay calm and think, breathe, like not get tilted, because when you play tilted, obviously you probably play more aggressive or you troll. Like, there's no in between about it. So I've seen a lot of players that get angry and they'll just kind of like go mid. Like, for example, I had a brand support and he got tilted at the mid laner, so basically he just went in the mid lane and stole all of his CS, and it's like, well, okay, now I'm 1v2ing bot lane. It's a shitty situation, but there was a silver lining, I guess, where it was like I was getting solo XP. I was able to kind of out level everyone, and I do believe levels in this game is pretty important. Another little tip that I could...
He sounds like an incredibly positive guy. He's like, trying to see the bright side and everything. And, I respect that. And I will say, he's spot on. All it takes is one lapse in focus, like, that brand support running mid and he's pissed off, whatever. One lapse in focus to not only ruin one lane, you can ruin two lanes. Because now what he's done, that brand, by going mid, you're not only leaving your AD carry to die potentially in bot lane, but then you're actually tilting your mid laner and making your mid laner play worse. You're making two people play worse in a way. So, but yeah, absolutely spot on there. I think you raised a really important point.
For sure, give that I thought helped me out a lot, and is something that I've heard from a lot of high elo players, which is basically, if you want to climb, kind of limit your champ pool a little bit. Like, I don't play mid lane, I don't play top lane, I don't play jungle, I don't play support. I am strictly ADC. I don't really get autofilled that often. Like, most of the times I get ADC, and I've been playing pretty much only two champs. I will obviously experiment and play like other champs, but mainly I'm playing two champs. I played Kai'Sa because she can pretty much 1v9 if she gets ahead. Like, a fed Kai'Sa is very, very known on the map. And I also play Jhin, because Jhin is my favorite champion in this game. Is like the reason I play League of Legends. The reason why I started playing League of Legends is because of Jhin. Like, that's like my GOAT champ. So I played those two champs like hardcore, like religiously, and I felt like I was able to climb like pretty fucking smooth. I don't know.
Yeah, a really, really important point. I have a baseline rule of thumb. If you are below, in my opinion, platinum. Actually, to be clear, if you're between gold and plat at the moment, I think you can play two champs. I think that's fine. If you're below gold, I think OTPing and really specializing in one champ is probably the best way to go. If you're between plat and emerald, you can definitely play three champs. So I think there is a framework here that I think is best, but he's absolutely spot on. Limiting your champ pool and having that emphasis on champion mastery is invaluable. And one really important point that I want to highlight here, he said his second champ, Jin, he plays it because he loves it. I think that is so important. Playing the champ that you love, like, I cannot stress that enough. Even having a champ pool that sometimes doesn't make sense on paper, like maybe there's so much overlap between the two champs, or they basically do the same thing, or they're good in the same situations, it's still okay just because you love the champion. Because I think that if you really, really love a champion, you will go to the ends of the earth to try and make it work. And if you're having more fun, you're going to have a better mental, you're going to have a better time. And at the end of the day, it's a hobby. You don't want to sit there getting LP, being miserable, playing a champ that you don't even like. And actually, to be fair, if you do play a champ that you find you don't like, you're actually not going to get LP because, when shit gets hard, you're not going to want to get into the details and actually figure out what's going wrong. So I really, really love that he emphasized playing the champ that he thoroughly enjoys.
When I started playing, because once I hit Silver 4, I took a little bit of a break. And after a little bit, I was like not really planning on coming back to League. I was like pretty much done, but I think I went to my brother's room and I saw him playing, and I was like, coming back from rehab from a crack addiction, your brother's smoking crack. You're like, oh, fuck. I reinstalled League, and I basically went from Silver 3-ish to Gold 4. And that grind I felt was even easier. It definitely took more games, and it was definitely more fun. Like, I felt like my supports on the most part were pretty solid. Like, they would just kind of follow me around and just help me out. That was awesome. Sometimes I'd get some rogue supports that would roam level 4 and just really fuck me in bot lane for no reason. And they're like, yep, that's a good idea. There's like a mixture of the two that you'll get in your games, and that's okay. Like I said, you're not going to win every single game, but you can really just try your best each game. You can be down 0-4 and at least get a decent stat line, like whatever. It's just about utilizing the game as best as you can, in my opinion. Even if you're fucking playing like dog shit, you're playing really bad, try and learn something, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's a really great philosophy. I think, this deeply resonates with me in the way I try to conduct myself in the Rift. The way I view it is, if I'm losing, I've got a tough game, I'm going to make the enemy sweat for their LP. That's the way I like to go about it. If they're going to get my LP, I'm going to make them earn their LP. I think that's a really, really healthy way to go about it. I also think, having that mindset of just playing the hand that you're dealt. I might have been dealt a shitty hand. I've got to off-roll support. This guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's roaming mid, leaving me on an island. He doesn't know the matchup. Okay. All right, cool. What am I going to do? How can I maximize the chances I win this game? And I love, one thing that I think he's done really well is that he's managed his expectations, because he's fundamentally said to himself, okay, I am going to lose a bunch of games. So straight away, having that premise, heading into solo queue with that premise, all right, I'm gonna lose a bunch of games. I'm gonna get some shitty teammates. I'm gonna play like shit. Okay, that just removes so much stress. It's like this huge weight lifted off your back. It's like, oh yeah, okay, it's actually not that bad. Holy shit! And then you can tell he's managed those expectations really, really well. And this is what I call the solo queue contract. And so essentially, what the solo queue contract is this idea that if you essentially write down all of the things that are going to happen. I will get my secondary role a lot. My champ will get banned. I will get a troll on my team. I will have these 30% losses. I'm going to be in the game-winning position and fuck up. Like, all these things, you write them all down. And when you write them all down, if this is your expectation, if this is what you expect to happen, when anything goes your way, it's like, oh, great. And if it doesn't go your way, it's like, oh, well, it's not a big deal. I knew that probably was going to happen. And then it just allows you to have such a better relationship with the game. And this is kind of what he's done intuitively, which I respect the hell out of. It's, again, not easy to do.
Like, make the game, that's what makes the game fun for me, I guess, is like, I'm not thinking about it, my rank tells me everything, but it's more or less just about I'm seeing mistakes that I'm making. I'm seeing myself make these mistakes less, thus making me climb because I am playing a lot better. Does that make sense? If it doesn't make, I'm kind of rambling here, so I do apologize about that. I don't have a script or anything like that. This is coming straight from the heart, but this is like, everything I'm saying is the stuff that I used and I really thought about during my time when I was climbing in this game.
So if I'm going to kind of interpret this, I think what he means is, I mean, if he's watching this, correct me if I'm wrong, you got satisfaction out of feeling like you were doing something better. So like you would be average or something, and then you're like, oh, I'm actually doing that well. And that feeling of like kind of progression there was motivating for you. And that was what was genuinely fun. It wasn't the rank. It wasn't any other crap. It was the feeling of being a better AD carry or being a better player. And, you know, again, you know, progression is a very powerful motivator. Obviously, rank is kind of like the external view of it, but, you know, internally recognizing that you're playing better League of Legends and getting into those details, nothing can really beat that. You know, for people who go to the gym, seeing your results, it's like nothing can beat that. That is what is going to sustain your motivation. It's like, oh, I can lift a bit heavier now. I can lift a bit heavier. That's some powerful shit right there. So yeah, I really, really resonate with that. I will say League, it's hard. It's very hard because, you know, you could be getting better, but because of things around you, your support, your teammates, the meta, whatever it might be, there's so many distractions, so much bullshit in the way that can actually prevent you from seeing your improvement. And because you're not able to replicate situations, we're not in the same situations over and over again, it can be hard to kind of recognize that improvement. And I will say something that's probably, I'm just spitballing, helped him to see that progression is that level-headed mindset. You know, he's coming in, managing expectations, having a crack, having fun, and that's allowed him to actually see truly what's happening. He's able to be somewhat objective about his journey, which again is really, really fucking hard to do. It's so hard to see this stuff. So you can tell he's definitely a very positive guy.
The things that I'm talking about in this video are the stuff that I was just like, these are the main things that I think made me better in the game. I used to have like like for some reason had a really hard time counter building. And what I mean by that is like, if they have armor, building armor pen, for some reason that just would like go over the top of my fucking head when I was first playing this game. And that was probably the reason why I was silver. But now it's like, okay, they have a Fed Lux. I built 2 MR items, you know what I'm saying? Building Wit's End and Maw. I got 100 magic resist. Like that's something. It helps me not get one shot. Or let's say they're AD or someone's going crazy. You build Guardian Angel for the armor. That's like the one item I go to because you get some AD with it. I don't know. I feel like there's more options with MR, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm just a gold player. I'm not fucking LCS caliber. I'm just like, I'm having a good time with this game, and it feels like I'm like learning something new each game. I'm going through the fun part of League, I feel like. All right, basically to summarize this video.
What a humble guy. I absolutely love that. You can tell he just doesn't have an ego. He's genuinely curious and open-minded. He's got that student-like, childlike mindset. He's going in, he's having a crack, you know, he's trying shit, something works, something doesn't, and just looking at it for what it is. He's not getting beat down by teammates, meta, all this crap. Just like playing the game what it was designed to be. You play well, you make good decisions, you get rewarded for good decisions, and you're always contributing to the game in some way, shape, or form. You can play your best. Well, this is another way to frame it. The amount of impact that you will have on a game varies game to game. So let's say you played, you know, the best you possibly could. One game, you could have insane impact on the game because that's just the way that game was. The game was played around bot lane. Your champion was really good into the enemy composition. The stars aligned. You could just legit 1v9 carry. The next game, you can play incredibly well and still lose, right? That idea, right? The idea that you can play well and lose is what messes people up. But for him, he's understood, well, if I play well and I get better, I'm going to win over time. And if I keep chipping away at things, I'm just going to be a better player and that's going to lead to results. And he's fully embraced that mentality. So yeah, what a humble, really curious, open-minded dude. And I love seeing players like this. And I love working with players like this. These are the best clients to actually have.
I think that low elo players need to focus more on objective control. I think their micromanagement is shit, but obviously they're silver players, so they're not the best, so whatever. Try and keep up with levels, obviously. Solo laners are going to get the most XP because they're not sharing the minions with anyone, but try and CS as best as you can and get solo XP when you can. Just try and keep up with levels, especially as an ADC. If you're level 16, their top laners level 16, it takes a lot of their threat away, and it makes them feel like dog shit, especially if you get armor pen or magic resist, whatever the fuck you need. Yeah, I rambled long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Obviously, if you guys disagree with anything I said or want to tell me anything, feel free to let me know. Anyways, have a great night. Peace out.
What a great video. This is the content I love to see. It's content made from someone that's done the journey, a pragmatist. You can tell he's spreading a positive message. I wish there was more content like this in regards to League. It's so contrasting to what's out there, like the negative views of the game, people shitting on Riot or matchmaking or Elo hell, losers queue, whatever. This is just this is exactly what I'm all about, and this is what I talk about on a weekly basis on my podcast. I love this. So thank you so much, man, for making this video. I hope you don't stop here at gold, and I hope you continue your journey, and I'd love to follow you on your journey, man. And so yeah, guys, hopefully, you learned a thing or two here. If you want me to make more of this style of video, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around. Cheers.